What are you guys most excited about graduation?
I'm excited to hug my parents after.
Aww.
I've been waiting so long for that, so I'm
That is
just
so cute.
excited for that.
I'm excited to figure out the next step of my life, honestly, because school's been a long journey. Because I went from being a bio major to pre-nursing, and then now completely something different. So I'm ready for sure.
You know those videos where you're like after graduating you give your stolls to your parents. I want to do that so bad. I think that'd be exciting. And I feel like since I haven't been home in like 2-3 years, I'm super excited to give them that.
It's gonna feel good, huh? It's gonna feel good, huh?
Are they not from Houston?
They're from Dallas.
Oh.
Well, my whole family's in Dallas, but I moved out here for school. So I've been here since like 2021.
Oh.
You guys Houston born and raised?
Born and raised.
You? Is that
No,
where you from?
I was born in Vietnam. I came here when I was 5, but I lived in California, and then I came to Texas. But I've been in Texas 15 years.
You guys first gen or no?
Yes.
Same here, same here. Do you guys have any siblings going to school?
Yeah. You go first.
It's your turn.
Well, I have a sister that's 14 years old. She's barely in high school.
Aw.
And my other one, she's 13, 8th grade, so about to be a high schooler. So they're kind of a ways away from the college life and
Oh, you're the older
experiencing.
brother?
By a long shot, like 9 years apart.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. My brother's 15 though, so he's getting ready to be in his junior year and doing like college apps and all that. But 9 years apart, so it's definitely a big age difference. I'm definitely like the parent, not so much the sister.
Gotcha. I have a older half brother. I think we're like 5 years apart. Yeah, he didn't go to college. He just went. He actually started his own business, like in construction. So he's doing that right now. And I have a younger brother. He wants to go into culinary. He's like, he's a senior in high school too, actually. And then my younger sister, she's 19, so there's like a year and a half age difference. She's in art school actually. So.
How's she liking that? Art school. It's definitely different though.
She's definitely always been the creative type. Like when we were younger, she used to have like for all the Christmas stuff, she would always ask for art supplies and really went into it. Like she used to be in the art club and stuff. So she got into the LaSalle School of Art here in Houston too. So she moved in with me like a year after she graduated high school.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I get to live together. Are you gonna still like be together after like you graduate and all that? Are you gonna stay in Houston and all that?
That's hard to tell. It really depends on like where I find a job, where I go to school, where it's easier. So I'm not 100% sure on that end. Okay, so what's been your like memorable memory since being president of your organization?
Oof. Having a lot of office visits, especially the one that stood out was the Lauren Mayhew, my last office visit, because they put it into 5 groups. It was 3 tax groups and 2 audit groups, and they just put us in groups and like they told us figure out what this tax group does and what this audit group does, and just like compete with each other, and like test our like knowledgeable skills, right, of what it's like to be an accountant. And I feel like that was really good. I feel like that's a really good memory that's gonna stick with me, especially because my last one, and it was my best event, I would say, out of this semester, office visit wise.
What about you, Doan?
In terms of events and being president, I think the Microsoft office visit, because it definitely was a new experience, and for an organization like us who are just starting off, it was really like cool to have a company like look into us and like actually be invested on like bringing our students there. And the event also gave them a variety of different professionals that really showed what they did and like the different aspects of like IT and tech, and not really like being like, you have to code for your whole life and all that. So it was really interesting, and a lot of students were really pleased with the event, and that's what I look forward to. And I'm like, we work for the students, so it was really a great experience.
Love. I think for me it'd have to be our symposium. It was the first time like Alpha UHD hosted one. It's usually hosted by our neighboring cities. So like, except last year. Last year was like all the way in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was all the way in Chicago. We knew about it last minute, and we actually sent in one student to go fly over there to represent Alpha. But because of that experience, we were like, oh my god, like it's almost impossible to send like a group of students to go travel, right? So we decided to host our own this semester since Alpha like nationally wasn't having one. So we were like, okay, we'll just host one. And it took us like almost like half a year to plan, just because we were like different companies, all the workshops, logistics. and we didn't even have a freaking location until like 2 weeks before the events because we kept getting denied. What was it, like event space?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, reservation.
Reservations, like we couldn't freaking get a room until like 2 weeks before the event, so it was like a lot of stress of like, oh my god, where's this event gonna happen at? Because the original spot was gonna be in the one main building, but it didn't freaking work out. But it turned out to be such a good event too, and it was a really good turnout for being our first time. And we had students come in from like U of H because it was open to all like Alpha students.
I like to piggyback off of that. Like, I was there, right? And I thought it was a really phenomenal event, especially like for us that student led. Like I was hoping you guys out as well, and I thought like looking at different companies and what they do as well, and how all the students interacted, and like, also like the mini like tabling event you had at the end or something. That was awesome. Like,
thanks.
And hopefully that keeps going as well.
Yeah.
I wish I really went because I was like, oh, this is my last semester. I wish I really could have gone.
Why didn't you go?
I had something that was already pre-planned a month ahead, and I was like, I've already rescheduled that twice, so I'm like, I gotta make it. But I wish I went. I saw like the experience that people had, and it really felt like a little mini convention.
That was the goal, yeah.
So I'm really glad like a lot of people were able to experience that because I feel like that kind of experience should be brought over here, you know, because it's expensive to go to convention, like bring students there. But I'm glad we're able to bring that to the masses.
Totally forgot we had fries here in the middle. I didn't even ask, what majors are you guys in?
Accounting.
MIS.
I'm international business.
And what made you choose international business?
Oh my god, that's such a funny story. So initially I wanted to be an English teacher. I wanted to be a writer. And I was like, you know, maybe I could like study English, major in English, and then travel around the world like that.
Ooh.
And then when I went to my high school, I was in the business class, and I think she was telling me, or we were talking about like what happens after high school, what are your goals, right? And I told her what I wanted to do, and she was like, you know, you could just do business and have a company pay for you. And I was like, oh my gosh, so true. So since then, I think I was just like, oh, I want to do international business, international studies, and trade. And I think that's what really sparked it. And then in high school, I used to be part of DACA, which is like, it's almost like an alpha. You go to competitions, you compete at a high school level.
Is that the debate one?
No, similar though.
Oh, okay.
Very, very similar. And I think that's when I really fell in love with the aspect of like business. And yeah, that was pretty much it though. But I was gonna be an English teacher.
180.
Why MIS coming from like a STEM background?
Actually, originally I was supposed to be marketing, but I was STEM for so long because my parents wanted me to be a doctor or a nurse. And I was actually almost going to become a nurse. Like, I was about to take the test and, like, finish my degree off. But I didn't see myself, like, really growing and being happy in it because it's a very, I would say, you give more, you give a lot. And some people give their whole lives. Like, nurses do 12-hour, shifts and all that. And I just felt like it's something that I don't see myself lasting in, especially in terms of like, being resilient in the role and being able to grow. So I then was like, I've always been interested in business because my dad is like, when he was younger, he was a businessman, and those kind of values were instilled in me when I was young. So then as I grew, I was always a hustler. Like in elementary school, I was like making those like duct tape wallets and selling them to kids.
Oh my god, I love that.
So I was like trying to sell it to kids and like make a little side hustle, a little money, and then that grew into like other like little things that I was trying to do, make or sell. And then I was like, okay, I want to go into marketing. But my parents were never like, you know, for it. But I was paying my own school, so I was like, let's just go into business. I was always happier in business too, like taking accounting and like all that. But my passion was like marketing, and then COVID hit, and that kind of like hit everybody. And so then most of my friends were online now, and I was like talking to them. I got into gaming, and then started like making my own PC keyboards like on my own free time. And then that's where I was like, okay, maybe I want to go into like something more techy. And then that's how I found MIS, because I was like, okay, is there a major somewhere in between, you know? And that's how MIS was like the major I settled in. You know, I don't want to exactly go into like data analytics or like, you know, anything like data related, but more like IT project management. So that's why I wanted to do MIS.
Makes sense, makes sense. What about you, Esteban?
I chose accounting because in high school, funny enough, it was an elective accounting. And I chose that elective not knowing what it was, but I thought it was cute. Accounting. Accounting is like a funny word. It sounds cool, right? Well, for me, it sounded cool. So I was like, let's do it. And I had friends over in it as well. And I really did good. Like all the things that I was working on, like I felt really good. I got a straight A in that class, like a 95, I think.
Oh, damn.
And it was the basics, right? And right, it was senior year, about to graduate before COVID. It was like really right before COVID. And but like my teacher, she had asked us, so when you guys go to college, what do you want to study? I went to KIPP school. They emphasized college a lot, like go climbing the mountain, went through college, stuff like that. And so the teachers were always like telling us like, what do you want to do? Like, what major? And I told her, well, I like accounting a lot. I haven't thought about it, but accounting sounds really fun, and I liked it. And she started laughing. And she's like, "You think accounting is fun? Good luck." But I was like, "Why is it fun?" Like, yeah, this sounds fun. I like it.
Has it been fun?
And yeah, I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. My pastorship was pretty fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And I would say, thanks to her in that class, I mean, ultimately, since I came here to UHC straight out of high school, and I haven't switched my major since, so I would say I settled into accounting, I stuck through it, and I'm just happy that, I mean, it worked out. I mean, I learned a lot through my org, through the people I've met, the professionals, everything in general. Just I feel like accounting is for me, so I'm excited to see what life takes me after graduation.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
You have an internship coming up too, no?
Yeah, with Grant Thornton, I'm very excited about that.
What role?
Audit. So I start January 6th, so we're almost there, almost there. Been waiting, I got it actually, I think, exactly a year ago.
Wow.
So, just long time coming.
How did you get it? Like through school, through your organization?
That's a really funny story too. I'll tie it back with my role as president as well. That same day, I was going to class and I got a rejection letter, and I was sad. I was like, I don't know, I wasn't gonna focus in class, and I saw a pass like in the first floor, like where like the student activities is. So it's the career center.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, should I go to class or be sad and not pay attention, or go over there and like talk to the people that I want to be part with, right? The org.
Like there was an event going on?
Yeah, it was speed networking.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna skip class. Let's go. And I think I probably shouldn't be saying this. I think that was like the best decision I made throughout my whole college career.
Wow.
Because I was like, here, like we're just sitting down. This is a table. Paz was tabling. It was Axel, Pedro, Jasmine, and I just sat down and like I told them, hey, what's up? How are you guys doing? We knew each other by now. I had classes with Pedro and Axel at the time. It was audit. And I sat down and they're like, they knew something was wrong with me. I was like, what's wrong, bro? Like, is everything good? I was like, not really. Like, I just got rejected from another firm. And, you know, like they're hyping me up. Like, oh, no, you'll be fine, bro. This and that. And they gave it like a little 5 minutes, like conversation-wise. And Diana from Grant Thornton's passing by. And Axel asked me the question, hey, bro, do you want to be president of PASS next semester? And I was like, me? And Diana was passing by literally just like right in front. And she heard. And she's like, hey, Axel. Like, she knew Axel very well. And we said hi, and that's it. But I was like me, like, no, I don't think so, bro. I don't think I have the capabilities. And he's like, think about it. And after that, the event started. And then Pedro was like, hey, bro, go talk to Diana from Grant Thornton. And I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, that's a prestigious firm. I don't think I got it in me. He's like, if you mess up, if you start stuttering, I got you. I'll back you up. I was like, you know what? All right. I know Pedro's experience. He knows what he's doing. Let's do it. Then I walk. I introduce myself to Diana, and Pedro just walks away.
Oh.
I mean, I was like, oh, we're doing this. But I think that was a really good decision from Pedro, because I was able to just like be myself in front of Diana. And she asked me, at first I gave her my elevator pitch, like, I'm Esteban Ramirez. I was a junior, so I'm a junior, and I'm majoring in accounting. And she's like, when are you set to graduate? I told her fall 24. And she's like, you're in the perfect spot to apply for a position at Grant Thornton.
Wow.
She's like, send me your resume. Let's connect on LinkedIn, and I'll see what I can do for you. And sure enough, I applied, and I mean, it worked out. I mean, I have an internship with Grant Thornton, and after that, we started speaking. I think I'm rambling on a little too much, but.
Oh, no.
You're good.
That's great.
But then she told me, so I overheard that Axel wants to give you presidency of PAS. I was like,
yeah, because she was walking by, huh?
And I told her, you heard that? And she's like, yeah, I heard that. And I was like, I don't know. I've never been a leader. I don't know. And she's like, what are you scared of? I'm like, failing, not succeeding. I don't want to tear the org apart. I don't know what it's like to be a leader, let alone a president. And she's like, do it. Because if you don't do it, if you fail, like, how are you gonna learn? And like that's that lit like a spark in me. And I was like, you know what? You're right. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's do it. And after that, like the 10 minutes passed of like speed networking, and that's all I needed. Like I just talked to that Diana that day, and I went back to Axel. I was like, you know what, bro? I'll do it. Let me shadow you. Let these 2 months pass by. See what I can learn from you, and I'll be president. And that's just changed my life completely. I'm forever thankful.
Yeah, you've been such a good president in the past year that I've known you.
Thank you.
How about you, Doan? What's after graduation?
So right now, I technically do have a role. It's part-time, but I'm looking for full-time opportunities right now. I'm at a startup right now. So
What's the startup?
a startup, oh yeah, not everybody would know what it is. A startup is genuinely usually a team of under 50 people, and it's like a kind of it can be an LLC, but usually it's like a partnership or a team of people, and they either have a business or a tech idea, application, or a product that they want to bring onto the market, and they bring together a team and they help develop that. It's basically just a smaller form of a company. They generally don't have, like, they're not like Google or Grant Thornton or anything like too big, but that's kind of what a startup is.
How'd you get your role?
Actually, one day we were at the student org day, pizza day, and I was tabling.
Oh, right.
And I saw Brett walk by, Brett Hobby of the Career Center, and then I was just saying hi, and I was asking how he was doing, and then he was like, oh yeah, you're just the person I was looking for. And I was already talking to Brett because I was trying to transition into my role as president, since I've never been president. And SOMIS is such a new organization that I wanted some guidance. I wanted some advice on how to navigate an organization. And I was just talking to him, and he was like, yeah, like there's one of the new adjunct professors for cybersecurity is kind of looking for somebody like you to work with her. And she does like a role outside of school too. Like her primary job is like she does something in cybersecurity, but she has a little startup that she was doing with her partner, and she has a team. And I heard more about her message and her story, and I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, have her email, have her email me, and we'll like start the conversation. At first, it wasn't really a role. It was just more like kind of marketing the product to the students, and like the idea in general, more of like an ambassador role. And then it kind of went from one thing to another, and we were in a coffee chat, and I met her in downtown, and then next thing you know, I was like, okay, like, yeah, she offered me the job, and that's how I got it. So it was very, like, I would say unconventional. But my story with being president is actually similar to Esteban's. It was funny. The vice president for this semester, he walked up to me as well at tabling. Like, a lot of things happened while tabling.
Yeah.
And SOMIS didn't really know what was going on, and I was like, oh, like, do y'all need help? Like, where do you have a table? And they didn't reserve one. They didn't register, like, they didn't really have that process. And they were like, yeah, like, how do you get one of these tablecloths, like this and this? And at first he was president, and I was like, yeah, I'll help y'all out. Like, because all their officers graduated, and they had no more for this semester.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the organization was kind of point blank. There was really nothing going on. And I was like, yeah, like, take me on as your VP, and I'll see what I can do. And in the beginning, I was VP, so I was taking more of like a, what's it called? Not behind the scenes, but like a secondary role. And then I was like, I felt like we could do better, and I felt like we could grow a lot more. And I'm a type A, so I'm the type to be like, okay, just let me do it. Not in a bad way, but it's more like, just trust me, and I got this. And so I was like, let's swap for a second, because my current VP, he was a sophomore, and he didn't really know too much about like student organizations. And I was like, just like you can kind of shadow me for a little bit and kind of understand the structure at UHD. And so I was like, let's do that. And he was like, okay. And then, yeah, it kind of went off from there. But that's funny that you went tabling, and I was like, oh, wow, like, is that where everything happens? But yeah, definitely after school though, looking for a full-time, looking for different opportunities, because I would say being president is a very time-consuming role. And that's the one thing I kind of regret not doing more, is kind of investing that time back into myself. Like, I have all these connections and all these, opportunities, and I felt like I've never really explored them, because being president, like you guys would know, is, I wouldn't even say a full-time job. I would say it's an all-around-the-clock job. Like, no matter how much I'm like, okay, weekends, you guys don't have to work. I'm out here like 2 a.m. Guys, like,
It's so funny. When I first got started, I used to be part of IBA. Which they're a little,
Really?
Yeah, they're inactive now, but it's the International Business Association. I used to be their secretary, but because we were kind of new, we had a lot of stuff coming up, and I was like a night owl, so I used to be like sending out emails at like 2 in the morning, like to stay up late working for them. And remember, like, their president was like, Suheyli, if you're gonna work this late, can you schedule it out?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. No, I definitely get that.
Yeah, I literally, we had a SOMIS, our last officer meeting, like Monday, and I asked them for any feedback, and their one feedback was, next time, don't message us at 2 a.m. Okay, and my thing is like, oh, they'll see in the morning, they're not gonna get the notification, our phone's always on. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, I got it. But yeah, no. I feel like we're all workaholics, right, to some extent. Like, I feel like we have to be president, and I was telling my predecessor, I was like, yeah, your life is going to be school, your family, and the organization.
But it's super rewarding though, especially when you're like interacting with all these students. Like, oh my god, I love this event. Like, oh my god, I feel like I found a connection. Because Alpha is super big in Alpha Media, right? And especially me, like coming in from like Dallas, I don't have family here. I don't have friends. Like I didn't have friends starting off, and then all I had was school and work. So I felt like joining organizations and meeting my Alpha Media has been super amazing and super encouraging.
Yeah, no, like after COVID, I didn't know how to interact. Like I came into UHD like a little bit after COVID. So I came in like, how do I talk to people? Like I used to be a really outgoing person, but after COVID, everything was online. I was like, how do I talk to people? Like, it's definitely a new environment, because I came from UH Maine and, or San Jac for a little bit too. And so I was like, what do I do? And in the beginning, I was really, really quiet. Like I went into, what's it called, FMA, and that's how I got my start as a student leader. But I was like, and then I learned about Alpha, and I learned about PASS, and I learned about NABA, and like SHRM, SSCMA, all these other organizations. And like, I was like, okay, let me dip my feet in with FMA. And then after that, it just grew and grew. And being president definitely like, kind of put me out there and like put me in front of people. So I had to get used to talking to people. Because it took a while. Like, I'm still scared of like going into a room and interacting sometimes, because it's like, oh, like they're looking at you like differently or something like that. But I'm like, I'm just a normal person. Like, I like wings just like you guys. So, yeah.
I feel like that never goes away. That like syndrome of like, oh, I'm speaking to a room full of people. Like, don't get nervous. I feel like that's always gonna happen, no matter how. Like, even if you reach partner level at a firm, like I feel like you still reach that.
Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, and imposter syndrome, like, whoa, I'm speaking to a lot of people. And once you start speaking, you get the flow of things, just becomes natural.
Yeah. Oh, just thinking about it. It's like the first day I get, because I think the first general meeting or the Davies internship symposium, I really felt like an imposter syndrome. It was like, there was so many people, and like people from my internship came in to talk, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do here? Like, they're like, oh, president. I'm like, bro, I'm just an officer. What do you mean? Because it felt like I was like just a student. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not, like, we're normal people. We like to go eat. We like to, so it's not, but it's different. It's different.
But I like what you said, when the student comes up to you and tells you, like, you did this event, or this event helped me with this, get an internship interview, whatever need be. Or even if I had a student that on my last event with Whitley Penn, he came up to me and he's like, bro, I really look up to you. And I was like me? Like, with me? Why me? He's like, bro, you're doing all this stuff. You're part of an org. You're doing all this and that. And I was like, oh, thank you. I didn't know how people looked up to me like that. But Like I would tell people, just get involved. I mean, in general, like you never know who you're gonna meet, right? Like all these people, these connections, and just be active at school.